morning, everyone. Today I would like to take you with me on an April garden tour. We are in the end of April over here and our garden is finally beginning to show some color, and I thought it would be a perfect time to take you on this tour. I am planning on doing multiple garden tours throughout the year. So my plan is to do a tour at least once a month, and I may do more than just one tour in a month depending on how things are looking like. Since we are standing over here, let's start with this bed over here. There's not much going on with exception to this beautiful shrub right behind me. I'm not sure if this is a rhododendron or an azalea. I think it's an azalea because the leaves on it are much smaller than that of a rhododendron. But if you look closely at it, unfortunately, because we had several nights of hard frost, a lot of the blooms got damaged by the frost, and I didn't think to cover it. I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but on the side that is facing the house, they're all still looking gorgeous. And I love this shrub, and I think it adds a beautiful pop of color in this area next to our house. Now, if we move over to this side, I had to cover these pots as well during the frost, and because of that, some of the blooms also got damaged because of the hard frost, even though they were covered. And they also dried out because we were having windy weather. And I gave them some fertilizer yesterday and they should do much better. But they're starting to fill up the pot and look really good. And this one right here, I can't wait for this allium to start blooming. On this side over here, look at this view. I love this view, and I can't wait for this nectarine tree to fill up and get established, and we're going to enjoy so many blooms on it once it does get established. And I think the view from here into that area, of course this is a fairly new bed in the way how I shaped it. I'm going to be adding tons of stuff in here, but I love the blooms on the peach and nectarines. Let me see if I can get you a close-up of one of them. They're all so blurry. Okay, there we go. It is gorgeous. I love the blooms on peaches and nectarines, and they are beautiful trees as well, not just their blooms. Don't look over there. I haven't worked on that side yet. But anyways, I just love this view so much. And we also, in a previous video, we showed how we protected these trees, and that saved their blooms. Otherwise, all their blooms would have been dead. And on that side over there, we're also starting to have some blooms. You can see over here the creeping phlox is starting to bloom, just barely starting. If I get you a little closer to it, you can see all the buds on it. And I love this variety much more than this variety. I have two colors over here. This is a pink, like a fuchsia pink, and these two over here are purple. So the one, oh, that one right there is a fuchsia pink, and you can see the fuchsia pinks are really not that great. And what I'm going to do this season is I'm going to dig up these, maybe plant them somewhere else, and fill this area again. Maybe divide these and put one over there and one over here, just to kind of have this beautiful swoop of the same color of the phlox, because I do love creeping phlox. I think it's gorgeous, and it also has this kind of green carpet in the summer. And you can see the daffodils are still in full bloom. They've been blooming for about 2 weeks now, and this variety is gorgeous. I'm not sure what variety of daffodils this is. I got a bag from Walmart and I stuck it in the ground, but I do love this variety. It's very frilly. Let me get you a close-up on one of the blooms. It's gorgeous. Also, I want to say the weather is just so beautiful today, and the tulips are doing okay. They're just starting to open. This variety is pretty short, and it doesn't look the same this year. Typically it's a double for me, so it's very frilly and full, but I don't know what happened to it. I feel like my tulips might have a disease this year. Or if I get you closer on this one, you can see this. I'm not sure if this is tulip fire or what, but they don't look good. And this is really sad, but that's okay. They've been here for several years and they have been blooming every year. Maybe eventually I'll replace them. And my camera keeps moving. I'm sorry, I'm not sure which setting to put it on because it just keeps doing that to me. And you can see here we have some Siberian irises starting to pop up, some more tulips over there, some phlox, and that rose, hopefully this is the Atlas rose, hopefully it's going to start putting some growth this year. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. And the bearded irises are all starting to put on some growth also. And the boxwood is looking great along with the sedum. I'm really hoping they start filling up over here. And we have some stuff are putting on some growth, but look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? I need to add some more color in here, and I have so much planned for this bed. I drew it all out, and we're going to be adding tons of plants in here. And I want to take you to the fruit trees also and show you the peach tree over there because it looks gorgeous, and our lawn needs to be mowed, and we have to get a new battery for our lawnmower so that we can actually get to mow the lawn this year. Unfortunately, the apricot lost all of its blooms because there was a side that was open with the frost covers that we put on it, and I didn't see it until after the hard frost. So unfortunately, if you look closely at it, you can see all of the blooms have perished. So that is very sad. Peaches are one of my favorite fruits, and I'm just really bummed about this. And also, I'll talk a little bit about this. This has been working really well. I thought about it last year, and I wanted a way of protecting the trees without constantly spraying them with the deer repellent. So I got these tomato stakes and I put some deer netting. I stapled it to them, and this has been keeping the deer off of these, and they're looking great because of it. Otherwise, they would have been devoured to the ground. Look at this peach tree. It is tiny but mighty. It looks so gorgeous. I just love it, and I can't wait for these trees to get big and just be full of glorious blooms. Look at them. Aren't they gorgeous? Okay, so now let's take you over there. There's something that you can barely see. I don't know if you remember me talking about moving the pear tree that was in the back. Well, I did. And I put it over here, and I think it looks really good over here. And it has also tons of blooms on it. Whoop. You can see they haven't, buds I should say, they haven't opened yet. And when I dug it up, I will insert a few pictures for you. It was, the hole that it was in was just covered in water. It was like a well. It was as if this tree was planted in a well. And I dug it up, planted it over here, and also it was, you see that part right there? This was all underground. All this from here to that nub right there. It was all underground. So no wonder why this tree was not doing well. And I'm so happy that I moved it over here. And the reason why I put it here is because I wanted to line up with the maple tree right there. And I think they look really good together. And on this side, do you guys see the change? I added these skyrocket junipers on our property line, and these only grow about 2 to 3 feet wide in diameter, so they're not going to touch the property. They're basically going to just get to the property line, and that was the goal. So I just pushed them far enough for that to happen, and they grow about 15 feet tall, and you can see them dotted around all the way there. Now I want to take you to the vegetable garden. There's not a lot to see over here. This bed over here is just barely starting to develop. I haven't shaped it yet, but we have the oak leaf hydrangea over there that have not leafed out yet, and the skyrocket juniper over there, and I did put this over here. I have some plans for it. I'll be sharing those with you in another video, and I think this is going to look very beautiful. But the reason why I put this one over here, if I stand on this side, there we go. Do you guys see it? I wanted it to line up with the walkway. And if I have something on it over here, whatever it is going to be, it's going to look gorgeous. Okay, let me turn you around over here. We are in the cottage garden, and on this side of the cottage garden, this is the medicinal garden, you can start seeing the rhubarb is starting to put on some growth. I also put these 2 chairs over here, just trying them out because I do eventually want to put a bench in here, and I thought, let me try them out before I get a bench, see if I actually like them there or not, if I like the idea of a bench in there before I buy one and regret it. And I think so far I'm okay with it. I will be able to tell more once some plants start to grow over here. I'll be adding tons of plants this summer. But right here I added already some plants. I dug up these from the vegetable garden. These are some black-eyed Susans right there, and I think they will look really nice up against these chairs over here. And on this side, this is maybe odd to some of you, but this is mullein, and mullein is actually medicinal, and I do love the foliage on mullein because it looks very much like lamb's ear, and I thought it would look very nice in this section over here. Now let's go to the vegetable garden. So I've been doing so much work on the vegetable garden, and I haven't recorded it because it was really mostly the same type of work. It was very repetitive, and I did not feel like I should be sharing that because it's just, I think it's boring. I don't know, maybe some of you would have enjoyed it, but I think it's boring. But anyways, over here we have some Snapdragons. I got the cardboard on a lot of the beds that I have weeded because I don't want to battle with the weeds, and we planted some poppies in the previous video that went up before this one, and some other vegetable, and we also direct seeded some vegetables in that bed over there. On this side, you can see the plants are doing okay, all my seedlings, but it looks like the feverfew got a little bit of damage on it, but they're still alive. I think I could just cut them back and plant them, and I think they will be okay because I had them here while we had frost. Maybe I should have brought them inside, I don't know, but I think they're still okay. They're alive, and that's what matters. I can just cut them back and they'll put on some growth. So in the back over there, I did add 4 trellises. I don't know if you guys can see them, but I do need to get some more support for them because these T-posts over here are very small, and I don't think they provide enough support. I love these T-posts, But the thing is, we have a lot of areas that we need to fix up in our yard, and buying all of these T-posts for these trellises is just not a priority right now. However, on that side over there, I am going to be buying some of those large T-posts for this arch trellis that I put up over here. Because right now it looks like an omega. And I have been bringing the chickens over here so that they can till up the area for me and free it of grass, so that I can put down a whole bunch of mulch and fix this area however I want to fix it. This area under the trees over here, and the trees are doing glorious this year. I think what we did to them with cutting the, you know what, let me take you over there. So for these apple trees, this is actually the first year that they put on so many buds. Let's see if you guys can see it. Look at this. All these are unopened buds. Everything you see on this apple tree is just unopened buds. And both trees are full. And each of these has tons of blooms in them. You can see here, if I open it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I had to refilm this again because I forgot to turn on my microphone, I think. Yeah, my mic is on right now. So the reason why this has tons of blooms on it is because if you look down, right there, we cut a big branch off of the apple tree. And if you have a branch that's the thickness of the trunk or thicker, that's going to stop the apple tree from producing fruit. So what you want to do is you want to cut off any branch that is the same diameter as the tree trunk or larger. And you only want to prune about 1/3 of the fruit tree, because otherwise that's going to instigate it to put on tons of foliar growth, and it's not going to put its energy into producing blooms. And if you look at the top over here, if you guys can see it, you can see that we actually, whoop, let me fix the camera for you. You can see that we actually did not cut anything, we did not prune anything on the top, and we left it all that way, because if we had pruned any more, this tree would have put all its energy into producing foliar growth, because that branch that we did remove off of the tree was very large. And we did that over there to that tree as well. This tree, I haven't done it yet, but I only removed all the water sprouts off of it that were produced last year. And then next fall, we will be taking off a large branch off of it. But if you look at the pear tree, everything that you see on it right now, this is all buds, all of it. And they are just about ready to open. If I bring you a little close to it, you can see, look at this. And these will look absolutely gorgeous. I love fruit trees. I think they're beautiful. And of course, they are beneficial because you are getting double the benefit. You're getting the blooms and you're also getting fruits. Okay, let's get back to the vegetable garden. We have this fence over here for the chickens. It's not electrified, but it stops most of them from getting out, and I usually tie the top over here, but I'm one-handed right now. And I bring them over here for the day, and then I bring them back to the coop, and I just want them to kind of rip up this whole area for me. And we have some vegetables over here. These are garlic that just popped from last year because the garlic that I had planted started to rot. So of course some cloves got left in there, and these are starting to grow in here, which I don't mind at all. And look at the garlic that we planted in the fall. It is doing absolutely amazing. Look at it. Oh, it looks gorgeous. And we're going to be harvesting this in a few months. And if I take you over here, you could see this fennel right here is a perennial for me. I just started this from seed, and I left it because I thought, you know what, let me try this. I know fennel is perennial where I grew up in about zone 8 or so, and it has been coming back every single year. All I do is I cut it about 6 to 8 inches above the ground, and every single year it comes back, along with this bronze fennel right here also. Same, oh, let me get out, move because there's a shadow here. This bronze fennel, same thing. And the kale has come back from, what is up with the camera? I think the ground is tilted. The kale has come back also from last fall, because our winter was so mild, and I've been harvesting off of it. It's delicious. Okay, so now let me take you to the back garden where the butterfly garden is. There we are. And over here, the boxwood, this is the green velvet boxwood. It's doing great. We also have a magnolia that's just starting to open, barely. Maybe these blooms are better. Whoop. And I can't wait for it to be in full bloom. I love magnolia trees. I think they're gorgeous, and I've always wanted magnolia in my garden. This variety is the Jane magnolia. There it is. I still have the tag on it. The Jane magnolia, and it grows about 10 to 15 feet tall. I think, does it say the width on it? I'm not sure. It does not. I don't see the width on this. And it can handle up to -30 Fahrenheit. The spacing 15 feet apart. Okay, so it probably also grows about 15 feet apart from each other. We also have some phlox over there that's starting to put on some growth, and hopefully the deer won't eat them. I need to get on spraying my plants before the deer come. We also have some lupin that is starting to look gorgeous. I started these from seed. Don't look at the weeds. There are always weeds. And I love this variety of phlox. This just seeded itself in my garden, and I picked it up. But the reason why I love it is because look at the margins of the leaves. I don't think this is any special variety. It's just the old time phlox, but they are gorgeous, and I love their colors. We have some daisies also are starting to put on some growth. And is it starting to bloom? No. There is not much activity right now in this flower bed over here. This is the butterfly garden, and I have some plans for the top over there this year, and we will be adding a whole lot of plants in the summer after the last frost date, because right now everything will get killed by the frost. Now we are at the front flower bed, and things are starting to fill up over here. We have some tulips that are you know, I don't see any buds on them yet, but hopefully they will bloom. And the bearded irises over there are also starting to put on some growth. These bloom late spring, early summer, and the euonymus is starting to fill up and look healthy and lush. In the winter, it kind of gets this red tinge to it, but it still looks beautiful. It's evergreen. Maybe you can see some of it right here. So this is the color it turns into in the winter, and you can see all the new growth that it's putting on. And I love this euonymus. It was here when we moved in, but not in this spot. It was growing under the deck, and it was you could barely see it in there. It was not putting on any growth at all. So I just moved it and I put it in this section over here, and I love it here. I think it adds a lot of character and color to this bed, especially in the winter, because it's very bare in here. And the chives are starting to put on some growth also, and we can start seeing some buds that will be opening shortly. Do you guys see them right there? Now, the key to these chives is to just not over fertilize them, otherwise they will flop. And this boxwood, unfortunately, it got some winter damage because all the snow from the deck falls on it and it kind of splays open. So I'm going to leave it here for maybe a couple more years, and if it still keeps doing this, then I'm going to transplant it, put it somewhere else, because I want something that's going to look good in this area all year long. And it's a really hard challenge because of the snow from the deck over there. And you can see the Pachysandra peeking from under the deck. And I do like it, I just don't want it to overtake the bed, so I just keep cleaning it. And these chives I started from seed also, and I just control them by cutting all their blooms off after they are done blooming before they set seed. Otherwise they will seed themselves everywhere. And right here we have some heuchera that I also started from seed using the winter sowing method last year. And what variety was this? I'll put the name of the variety on the screen because I forgot what it is. And I'm just trying to take some cuttings from this boxwood over here, so I just stuck them in the ground, and they're doing okay so far. I have one over there also, right there. This is the Green Mountain boxwood. And I also have another heuchera, same variety, right here. This was it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this garden tour. I know there's not a lot of color over here right now. It takes a really long time for our area to start putting on some color because we just have a long cold season. And just last week we had temperatures in the 26 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is really hard on plants, and not a lot of plants can survive this when they just start breaking dormancy, and then these temperatures come. And this happens to us often, and we are fortunate enough that we were able to save some of our fruit trees. I'm sad about the apricot tree. Hopefully next year will be a better season for it. But I also just love this right here, and I want to put so much more of daffodils in the spring, daffodils all over the garden, but not yet, because I have a whole lot of planting of perennials and shrubs to do before I'm able to actually plant my bulbs, and this is why I'm holding on. But I do love the bulbs because they do add tons of color in the spring, and if we don't have them, then we won't have any color. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I also want to say that I'm super jealous of all of you who live in warmer climates and even zone 5 climates, but still get blooms before us because your last frost is way ahead of us. Basically, you're past that period. So I'm super jealous of all of you who are in those zones, and I do watch some people in those zones on YouTube, and yes, I am jealous. Can you tell? I just hope that one day our garden will look that way. Again, it's a new garden. I would say it's about 2 years old because it took me a long time to just set the bone structures and the bone structure for all the beds to get them to this point before I'm able to plant in them. And now I'm finally able to just grab stuff and plop in my garden beds, and I'm happy about that. So I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I hope you can get in your garden, get gardening, see some blooms, smell the fresh air, because it's a beautiful day, and I hope it will be a beautiful day for you as well.